For a deep dive into the games, let's speak to Kate Delaney. She's an award-winning sports commentator and host of the radio show America Tonight. Good to see you, Kate. Now, it's been 8 years since the last Asian Winter Games in Japan, and record numbers of delegations and athletes are taking part. What are some of the top events to watch?
Alpine skiing definitely would be at the top of the list. Short track speed skating, which already some records have been set. You talked about the opening of the games, and then it segged right into sports automatically. And there's a whole bunch of other sports I would look at, like mountaineering is another one that's popular. And I think that part of that is because now people are really gravitating towards some of these winter sports, and they realize that they themselves can do them because there's more availability for the people in those regions.
This is the second major winter sporting event China has hosted in recent years. The Beijing Winter Olympics, of course, took place 3 years ago. Why is China playing such a big role in winter sports?
I think it's for the reason I said, Sally. I believe that there's more availability, there's more skating rinks, there's more figure skating going on. There's more realization that if there are some young athletes that have so-called the right stuff and can compete on a national level, why not have it in your own backyard? And so the interest in sports in general has exploded in China. So I'm not surprised that winter sports and the Asian Games specifically are popular.
And Japan, South Korea and China topped the medal chart 8 years ago. Do you think that they'll likely stay the same, or will there be some surprises perhaps?
I kind of handicapped this, and I didn't find in any of the research I did, and I talked to a couple of people that had been at a previous Asian Games, and I don't see that a lot of those athletes are still in their prime, so I don't see any major upsets, and of course the U.S. is not competing here.
And given that there are so many countries participating from, more tropical or much warmer regions, how do those places train for such events? What kind of facilities are available for competitors in places unlikely to see winter sports?
A lot of times what they do is that they actually travel to places where they have the availability of winter sports. For example, even just coming to the U.S. and going to like Lake Placid, where they have the availability to practice and train relatively inexpensively, and then they rig up other things that they can do as far as off-season training, for example, but they have to have the facilities like the space. Obviously, if it's alpine skiing, you have to be able to do that either in Colorado, but like I said, I know a lot go to Lake Placid, New York, and even Europe.
Can you talk about the significance in terms of, the Asian Winter Games on a global scale, especially given our audience is international? How should they group this games as far as major international events go? Is this a sort of qualifier or tease to the Olympics, or is it not quite at that level?
No, I think you nailed it. I think it's becoming a qualifier to the Olympics, especially when you talk about the countries that you just mentioned, like Japan, Korea, of course, China. And then that gives more scouts, that gives more coaches to have more eyeballs on some of these athletes who could compete on perhaps the Olympic level. So I think it's becoming more popular, and it's going to become more significant.
All right, great to have you on the program. Kate Delaney, thank you.
Thanks, Sally.